so many different nicknames. It is a track that people love to race at, and it's a track that people will also say a bunch of four-letter words about. And that is Bristol Motor Speedway, as we are here tonight virtually on iRacing for the third of 5 races in the first round of this playoff season for the North Carolina 811.com Cup Series for Sim500, as we welcome you in to the last great Coliseum. The, let's see, what else do they call this thing? The fastest half mile. The race that M&M's, I mean, there's so many different nicknames. I'm just kind of losing it here for a second. But we're at Bristol, baby. That's what all that matters here as we get ready to go racing for 200 laps tonight around this half mile as we take a look of where we are on the earth. Yes, Google Earth showing us Bristol Motor Speedway. And there we are, right off Highway 11, this beautiful track that's hosted football games, that's hosted drag races, that's hosted all different types of things. We've had snow here, we've had rain here, we've had everything happen at this track. And tonight, we have the boys from Sim500 in the Cup Series, presented by North Carolina 811. They are here tonight, ready to rock and roll. So let's get ready to do so ourselves. I am the captain, Chris Scala, along with John Muschie Jr., who's back and feeling a little bit better, and hopefully continues to feel better. But we've got him tonight, and we are rocking and rolling in Bristol Motor Speedway. That word right there, that 7-letter word, Bristol, says it all, John.
Yeah, I tell you, Chris, you kind of hit the nail on the head, man. A lot of people love this place, but a lot of people, and I put myself in this category, I just don't like it. I like going and watching the real race, but driving laps on here, man, I would just as soon walk on glass barefoot, dude.
What?
I don't like this place. I suck. I can't.
We can work on that. But 200.
Let me rephrase that. I like it in super late models. That's fun. Street stocks is fun. But anything bigger and on the pinball.
Have you tried it in IndyCar?
Oh, I'm no, that's terrifying. Oh, are you serious? You've done it in IndyCar?
Yes.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Whose bright idea was that?
Yeah, we were. Things were involved. Let's just put it like that. Anyways, 79 degrees. iRacing default temperatures on track. 53% humidity. Partly cloudy skies around this little over half-mile track. 24 to 28 degrees of banking in the corners. And we're going to see multi-groove racing here throughout this night now. As I mentioned, this is race number 3 of 5, and the playoffs are a little bit different here in Sim500 in the Cup Series. They have 2 rounds, basically, and in those 2 rounds, they run 5 races apiece, and basically cut the field in half. So the top 20 goes all the way to race 5, and then it flips to 10 for the last 5 races. So with that being said, here's your point standings entering tonight's race, and it's a pretty good jump for Falkingham so far, but plenty of room to maneuver right down there. Let's look at 2nd through 9th. There are 25 points separating 9 people pretty much, and when you add Jatina, Elliot Henderson, and Bobby Wetzel, you literally have 27 points separating 2nd to 12th in the standings. So it's very tight, John.
It is very tight, and I mean, mathematically speaking, there are guys back there in the lower half of the top 20 that aren't technically out of it just yet. Edson, I think, is probably the only guy we could say is definitely out, you know. But I mean, guys like Kevin DeBrown, Coleman, all they need is for a couple of the guys in between them and say 5th place to have a bad night here, and then Talladega. Ugh, that word right there gives me the chills too.
I love it.
So crazy last 3 races we have for this playoff round right here.
It is going to be a lot of fun here this evening at Bristol, and I've done a little bit of research this week, plus I had some talking with Joey and stuff, trying to learn more, and I wanted to make sure I was able to clear up the cloudiness sometimes I bring when it's like, all right, here's the rules, I think. But I've got it down now. I've got it fully understood, and we're ready to roll now. That's part of the learning curve of being a part of a new series, but yep, going to be a lot of fun tonight. 200 laps, and it looks like Tommy Ryan right now on the pole at a 1481. What are we going to see out here tonight with this next-gen car outside of, wait for it, no tire issues, no exploding driving systems, whatever else we have?
Well, that's what I was going to say. These guys, You know, I mean, you're an iRacer like me. We've been doing this a long time. Usually, a big complaint with most of us iRacers are it's not quite realistic enough. But tonight, I guarantee you, nobody on this track will be saying that after seeing what's happened to these cars in real life in the last couple of weeks between the Bristol race and now this past weekend at Talladega. Tire issues, parts issues, stuff just breaking, just falling off, cars catching on fire, Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's been. I mean, I can't say what I really want to say because it's a bad word and we're not going to do that, but it's been nuts. It has been crazy the last 2 or 3 weeks in the Real Cup Series. And I think right now, to a man on track, everybody will agree that they're very glad that we don't have that level of realism, here in iRacing just yet.
Yeah, well, we do got some great racing in store for you. We'll see some bottom feeding. We'll see some top line racing. We're going to see some tightness, some looseness. We're going to see the pit road as all one lane tonight. And we'll show you the blue line that you will see that will separate the pit stops and stuff like that here throughout. So we're looking forward to that. Right now, though, I want to grab a driver. And there's one in mind I have, and there's a reason behind it. And I'm going to kind of surprise him with it. So I kind of feel bad I'm about to do this to him. But I'm going to bring Randy Oakham up here with us. And Randy, I'm going to kind of surprise you here for a second, if you don't mind, and bring you on here. A pretty serious situation is coming probably in the next week or so. And what I mean by that is there is a hurricane down in the Gulf of Mexico, or about to be in the Gulf of Mexico. It's in the Caribbean right now. So when, and the only reason I use the word when here is because it looks like, unfortunately, there is going to be a part of the United States that gets hit. When a storm like this comes through, all right, obviously the call 811 before you dig, that's a big factor here too. But why do we stay inside after the storm? I mean, because we got power lines, we got all types of issues and things that can be prevented to keep somebody from getting hurt.
Well, there's a ton of reasons why you have to listen to mainly your public safety officials in a situation like this. It definitely does look like we're going to suffer some ill effects of this, especially in the Tampa area. I've been looking at the storm surge that could occur there, and that's just a bad situation right there. But in any case like this, it's very important for the public to listen to the public disaster officials in the area, because they coordinate with all of the emergency E911 and so on and so forth. God bless these people that are going to get hit with it. I know what it's like living on the coast of Virginia. I know what it can be like. Typically, we don't get them really, really, really bad up here. The last one we had was Isabel, which was a storm that had its name retired, but it still wasn't terrible up here, but it was bad enough. I can't imagine what a 9-foot storm surge in Tampa Bay is going to be like, and that's the latest call that I heard. So public emergency officials, they need to get dialed in, emergency radios and that sort of thing.
There you go, man. Randy, we'll appreciate your time. Go have some good luck here tonight at Bristol, my man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You too. Randy Oakham there, and we'll talk more about the storm and stuff, and the fact that, yeah, I've been a part of 5 or 6 of them myself, so I know exactly what they're going to be all about. You saw
brother.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, as a guy who grew up in South Louisiana, I've had enough of hurricanes between Katrina, Rita, Gustav, all of them, man.
Yeah. 200 laps tonight as we get ready to come to the green flag here at Bristol. Race number 3 of the playoffs is green. And Daniel Falkingham on the bottom side going to jump out there to the front.
That's about the only time, Chris, I think you're going to see the bottom work is the first 2 or 3 laps after the start. I was watching in practice. Passing people on the inside is going to be tough once these tires get heated up.
I think if you let them wear in a little bit, you could make that bottom work, especially if another car gets tight. But as you see Tommy Ryan here, about a half-second back. Now, we talked about the reason why I wanted to bring Randy up here is, yes, we do have a situation, it looks like, to where there will be a landfall with this storm. I've been a part. I've lived on the east coast of Florida. I grew up 2 hours north of Hurricane Andrew. And I remember as a 6-year-old going to bed that night thinking, where's this thing going to hit? And it ended up hitting, thankfully, south of us. I was in Hurricane Aaron directly. 1995. It was a Cat 1 storm, thankfully. believe it or not, some people forget before Katrina hit Louisiana, it hit Miami as a Cat 1 storm.
Yes.
I was in Fort Lauderdale going to college that day, the day before, when that storm hit. So, basically, I brought Randy on to talk a little bit about being careful. When these power lines are on the ground, you never know if they're on or not. So there's so many factors in that. But we'll talk more about that into later as we ride right now with the 6-car Mike Montesi. You see the 37 Elliott Henderson there, Brian Macklin, who was fast in practice. Should remind you, all the numbers on the left side are in green. Those cars are in the playoffs. So those cars right now are competing for the championship. The one with the green numbers, the ones without green, they are not. And also our camera stack presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook, in the iRacing forums, and on TrackCams22.com. As Byron Daly, last week's winner, is up to second already. This man is trying to be a party pooper in the playoffs. Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, no, thank you. I will mess that up in a heartbeat. But yeah, I tell you what, Byron's just been on a hot streak. It's really sad that due to his real-life workload, he was unable to compete in the required amount of races to compete in the playoffs. Because I'm going to tell you what, I think he's probably one of the top maybe 3 drivers here that could give Falkingham problems, if you know what I mean.
John, are you noticing something here? Look
What's
where
that, sir?
everybody's running.
Yeah, I
They're
see
on
it.
the bottom.
I see it. I do. Lap 10.
Lap
It's
10,
on the
we got the
bottom.
old Bristol in front of us here all of a sudden. This is kind of baffling a little bit, but the first battle, let's go back to
watch
it.
these 2 right here. Watch. You got 13 of Comstock
Yep.
down low. You got Wetzel up high. Wetzel, a playoff driver.
So is the 49 behind him, Amon.
Yeah, good Lord, man. Bobby is not wasting any time here. Just dicing.
Oh!
Oh, contact. Oh, boy.
He held on to it, got the inside wall a little bit, but comes back
everybody
up
went
the
back up.
track. Everybody saved it, I think.
Wow. Somebody buy that man a beer. Not right now.
Yeah,
He needs both hands on the wheel.
Let's find. Let's see if we watch that again. That was
So he makes the pass great right here on the outside. And then ducks down trying to pass Yoakum, the guy you pulled up a minute ago. Watch
Right,
this.
right. He just gets a little tight there, a little door to door. And of course, I'm on Comstock, not Wetzel. Comes back up the track. Nice job by Holyfield there and Kevin DeBrown to give that man some room.
How high do you think Holyfield's heart rate went right there?
Well, well, it's already high enough running around here.
Exactly. Some points news for you. It looks like Eric Arnold did not start the race.
I wonder if something's going on there. It's not the first time that he's, I don't want to call it a start and park, but had some kind of issues right before the race. As Comstock and Mons got the door off too.
Wow. And like you said, Mons is a playoff driver, trying to keep all the points he can on the table right now, or not keep on, but take all the points he can off the table right now. And he wants to get as many spots, and that's not the way to do it. Damaging that car like that so early on. But what I was going to say is, with Eric Arnold, it's his job, like kind of like the Byron Daly issue. Sometimes he can get signed in, but then he has to turn around and head off to go do something for work. So that's tough luck right there. So, oh, wow, look at how loose Mons was just now on exit.
I know the feeling there. Yeah, and you got to remember, these cars are getting tighter and tighter. I ran the NIS 500 lap race last weekend here at Bristol. And obviously it was at night. But with that said, this car is going to get tight. The right front tire is going to build. And you're going to get tighter and tighter. And what happens is when that happens, what'd I just say? When the car gets tight, you put too much wheel in it. And basically it causes the back end, once you get grip in the front, to want to spin out. So we got to be very careful, especially on that inside line. You get that almost a tight, loose feeling is what they call it.
Yeah, and speaking of tight, look up front. Daly has reeled in Falkingham, and he's doing it on the high side. I've watched him for the last couple of laps here. He's been running the high side right there in 3 and 4, and then kind of like the middle lane. Well, he's going to go high and make me a liar now, open 1 and 2. Oh, and speaking of playoff drivers having issues, Beasley just came into the server.
Richard Beasley, he must have
He
dropped out.
Yeah, he dropped out, and he's back in now.
Wait, Byron downshifting in the middle of 3 or middle 1 and 2 there.
Is he? Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
just
he is.
downshifted
Wow.
again. I almost
See, that's a dangerous thing. Chris, you could probably explain to these guys better than I can why that's kind of playing Russian roulette right there.
Well, what he's doing, I see what he's doing. He's using it almost as a brake, is what he's doing. But the good news is the gears are so close together in fourth and fifth that basically he's just basically using it for a brake, is what he's kind of doing. He's not pushing the brake probably as hard. Now he stays in fifth gear that time by. Now, one thing I have learned about this next-gen car, there is no gear changes when it comes to, like, when you go to one track you have this gear, and then when you go to another track it's this gear. The next gen car has the same gear at all the tracks, so because of that, that's where you see the selection of gears and things like that in the cars that are being used, which I found kind of weird. Yeah,
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
You mean the actual first through fifth gears are the same? It's just the rear and differential is different, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, let me explain that better, because obviously you're hearing like, okay, why would they be revving at 9,000 at 150 miles an hour? That obviously is a little bit different. But what I mean by that is all the gearing is pretty much the same because it's a money-saving move. Look at this kerfuffle here. Tyler Dalton going 3 wide with Macklin and Mike Kelly inside.
Looked like Macklin got just a smidge
Macklin
loose
in
and
the wall.
off the wall there. Yeah.
What you got to be careful of here, because one thing you got to watch, and not saying Macklin did it here, but you have seen it in official races where people will go up there and smack that wall and take advantage of it.
I thought they fixed that.
Don't look for him on that one.
Copy that. Just an update for you up front. I think Daly has worn the tires out a little early.
Which is another thing. You downshift, you put more revs into the rear tires, and it slides the front.
Yeah, he has definitely fallen off the pace just a little bit, giving up almost a straightaway now to Falkingham, and he's falling into the clutches of your third place driver back there. That's going to be Parker, and then Tommy Ryan behind them, and they're right there.
Yeah, they're battling for the third position right now. Tommy was underneath the 81, and there he goes again.
That's a great shot right there, Chris.
As the longer these tires go, it becomes harder to pass. And what I mean by that is you can get to the bottom there and try to make the pass, but the car starts to get really tight, and you cannot get back to the throttle that quick. So Tommy right now is kind of in a spot where he's just got to be patient and hope that Parker makes a mistake. But look right back there behind him. You see that green car? That's Elliott Henderson. He's having a great run so far. Fifth position. Parker gives Tommy the top side here.
That's an interesting maneuver.
Now, I wonder if this is Josh maybe knowing that Tommy's faster and saying, all right, I'm going to let you go here. Because there's one thing also that I've realized that I've been mistakenly saying in the playoffs that is untrue. There is not a halfway bonus point in the playoffs.
Oh.
So this is straight up 200 laps. That's something, again, you go to the Sim500 website, and I explained it to Joey, and I'll explain it. I'm not afraid to admit I'm wrong on the air. I go to the website, I go to the rules, and I look through the rules and stuff. I didn't realize that on the website, right in the Cup Series page, is all the rules you need to know about points and stuff. And I'm like, oh, looky there.
Yeah, how convenient. It's funny how Joey does that to us, you know? He puts things out there for us to read, and gosh darn if we just don't do that.
Got a message here from, I don't know who that is. Somebody saying they got a black flag. I wonder if that's Teft maybe, or Burrell, or somebody got a black flag before the race started for entering a closed pit. Made no sense. Got DQ'd for not serving it. That's an interesting glitch.
Wow.
That must have happened to Teft.
I don't even see what you're talking about. I mean, I see that he's off track at 33 laps down right now, but...
Yeah, well, this is, yeah, it's Andrew Teft. See, again, I use Restream for broadcast. And on Restream, I can actually see all the messages that come across from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch.
Right, okay.
So,
that's
like, if you're on YouTube reading right now, you're not able to see us. I'm able to see what Andrew was saying and that kind of thing. And apparently I had 100 messages already today.
Oh, wow.
Weird. He's the first message. Anyways, something I didn't know. So
that's
Chad
unfortunate.
Coleman, yeah, no kidding, right? Got Coleman downshifting here and battling Henderson for the 5th position. Tyler Dalton right there behind him. Mike Kelly, Scott Simley, 5 cars under a blanket here. This is the 5th through 10th position, or 5th through 9th right now.
And they're already dealing with lap traffic too, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the field already spreading out here, you have 28 cars on the lead lap, as they've already caught Ed Burrell and put him a lap down. Doug Sigmund right there in front, and Jose, good to see him back on track. Funky Cole Medina. I think it's the right Jose, either him or Gonzalez. I know was obviously a part of the hurricane last week.
Yeah, that was Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, okay.
Yeah.
So watching this go on here, and then back here, Kevin Brown and Justin Mons, Bentley Glazier. These three have been battling since the start of the race.
So apparently Bentley is a drummer who loves Mountain Dew.
There's something about that makes sense to me.
I was just cracking wise because his variety of paint schemes this year have been limited to drum pieces like Zildjian cymbals, stuff like that, and then Mountain Dew paint schemes.
It makes you wonder if he has long nights sometimes. 'Cause Mountain Dew will keep you up at night and obviously playing music.
I was about to say, absolutely.
The only thing he needs now is a garage sponsorship.
Right? Or maybe we used to play when I was in high school. We had a band and we played at a storage unit, man.
That makes sense. Would that be? Would that make you a storage band then instead of a garage band?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So
We're Uncle Bob's band. Yeah, it was Uncle Bob's.
Nice. Elliot Henderson losing a couple positions as they get a little tight there with that lap car. Henderson's falling back to 6. Coleman got by him. Scott Simley's right there now trying to get around him. Simley, a pretty good long run car here in this Mobil 1 Ford. Looking pretty sporty. I like that paint scheme, by the way, too.
Yeah, that's a good looking car.
Kind of a little
yeah, there's some guys. I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to walk out. I was just say there's just some guys that when you watch these long runs that we get in the Cup Series, well, heck, with all the series they run, but there's always certain guys that stand out that are just, they're able to be more consistent and therefore make those tires last longer. Guys like Simley, Comstock, Falkingham. Although people think Falkingham's got witchery going on inside that race car.
Well, one of the things that could be a key here, and I bring this up because last week when I ran the night race here, I actually was really good after about 40 laps on tires. And the reason why was, one, because I was just kind of running my own pace, but two, I actually ran the top steering ratio and went 16-1, which is 2.36, I believe it is, in the steering on the rack and pinion. Now, one other thing I do here, and it's very, you race around Bristol here, it's very easy not to have what they call marks on the track. Because you just get out there and you want to drive hard into the corner and you want to get back to the throttle and drive it off the corner. I have trained myself at this track to use my eyes and find marks on the wall and use those as my braking and my gas point. So when I do that, it gets me into a rhythm the whole time. And then I'm not overdriving the car.
That's very interesting you say that. Let me tell you why. I was in a league a while back that did super late models at this track. We raced this one in Richmond and Martinsville. It was a 12-race season, and we just repeated them. So you did 4 races at each track, right? Mm-hmm. And I was kind of the same, but that was just for braking. I picked a spot going into the corner where I knew if I got on the brakes this much, it would be a perfect entry, help the car turn a little bit. But as far as getting back on the throttle, I'm an ears guy. I listen to the RPMs on the car. And once it starts to make the turn, it's like a certain RPM that I can hear, and that's when I get back on the throttle.
Nothing wrong with that, and everybody's got their own feel, I guess, in this situation. You see Jose Gonzalez in the Smash Brothers hamburgers vehicle there. That's
I bet that would be a good pizza.
Yeah, no kidding. Right?
You've given me ideas, Chris.
I'm all full of ideas for people. I like helping people become entrepreneurs.
I can't say that too, entrepreneurs. Good Lord.
Thank you.
I can't let my wife hear me say that too loud because she's not real happy with the reason that I wound up in the ER last week. So,
well, pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Well, just not taking care of myself, man. You haven't known me very long, but back when I was in the oil field and still working, I was about 6'3" and about 210, and now I'm 52 years old and 6'3" and about 370, and it's all food, dude. I live in South Louisiana. It's nothing but the food down here. So now when I mention stuff like pizzas and cheeseburgers, I get the devil eye from the wife.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. But hey,
yeah.
It's never too late to start taking care of yourself.
Yeah, but my God, Chris, food. I love food.
Portion control.
Yeah, that makes bigger plate, right?
Oh, Jesus. All right, 61 laps about to be in the books right now. Daniel Falkingham's led them all. He's got a 2.5 second lead over Byron Daly. We have been clean and
Don't say it.
let's just say we've been clean for 60 laps in this race. Good battles all the way through the field here. Biggest movers right now, Chad Coleman up 8 spots from 12th to 4th. He's got his car set up for a long run. How about Bentley Glazier up 26 to 16th? He's the biggest mover in this race right now as we ride on board Mike Kelly here. Under attack.
Byron Daly is trying to get past the 43 who bounced off the wall right in front of him. And now he's trying to get past Jimmy Coleman on the outside. It was a very interesting couple of corners there for Daly in the 06
tires,
car.
this is the point of the race that I was talking about a little bit ago. When I ran that race last week, I was leading at, basically it came down to a strategy. We went to last like 140 laps green. And the guy who eventually won pitted actually at 100 laps to go and got tires. I stayed out and ran the whole rest of the run. I got stuck behind a lap car with about 40 to go and tried to pass him. And I could not get around him on the bottom side. And this guy was 7 laps down. For a little bit, I understood it because he was actually battling a car in front of him for position. But in the end, that guy got away. And I could not get around him. The eventual winner passed me with 10 laps to go.
Oh, man.
So this is that situation where if you get a car in that top side, it doesn't matter how slow you are. It becomes very hard to pass. Ask Jose Gonzalez right now, who's underneath Josh Parker. This is the battle for 7th right now. Parker falling back a little bit here. I say that, and Parker lets him go, and Jose makes it look easy. Maybe it's my driving talent. I don't know.
Nah. Some people are just better at this track than others. I am definitely not in that category. Wow, Burrell is way off the pace. I'm not real sure what's going on with Ed Burrell.
Ed up there at the top of the track. I think he's just trying to get it out of the way of the leaders here. But the car on the move I'm watching right now running laps about as fast as the leaders right now. Scott Simley, he got by Coleman. He's up to the 4th position now. He's all of 8.7 seconds back, but Scott here is having his best run of the season.
Yeah, I've been watching Scott as well on track, and he's really fast, yes, and consistent, yes. But he's also been kind of lucky with the lap cars, and he's getting to them at a point where it's really easy to start the pass and get it finished about halfway through the turn. Whereas our leaders right now, I'm watching Falkingham and Daly and these guys up front are having fits with these lap cars.
And you look up here, Byron, and these guys have all the right to race like this. I mean, they're not lap cars until they're a lap down in this race. You see him coming up on Bentley Glazier right now to put him a lap down. Now, as I mentioned, that 130 mark, that's about as far as you can go on a tank of fuel here. Now, I don't expect them to go that far because tires are going to be at a premium here. If you did not preserve your tires, don't be surprised you see as we get close to lap 100 here, we do start having Texas tire issues, if you know what I mean. And it won't be because of camber and stuff like that, just because of wear and tear and that kind of thing here at lap number 73.
Well, I heard some rumblings and some grumblies and some rumors that some of these guys are going to push it to lap 100, as it's right at the halfway spot, and then because they got 3 sets of tires, I believe, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and then pit and try to save at least 1 set for a late race caution. But so I look to see a lot of these guys, Chris, try to push it at least to lap 100 and go from there, barring a caution, of course.
You said it, not me.
I did. Doggone it.
But we do have some wear going on. As I'm looking at lap times right now, let's use the leader for an example. Falkingham's fastest lap was a 15:03. He last lap ran a 16.5. That's a 1.5 second drop off. So we're seeing that mostly, almost 2 second drop offs on some cars. I'm even seeing laps in the 17-second bracket of some of these cars. So right now these guys are hanging on. They're probably plowing tight. And as a matter of fact, let's go on board with, let's get, how about Joey? Let's pick the boss man here and let's go on board with him. And let's watch how he turns this wheel. I mean, he's got his hand almost at 12 o'clock there. That should tell you right there how tight this car is. And he's got to be very careful. He's got to almost straighten that wheel out off the corner because the car will almost want to, well, when Comstock's up your tail too, that's going to help things. And look at him. He's in 4th gear the whole way here.
That's interesting. Did you not see a lot of that when you did the 500?
Well, no, because I wasn't on board anybody myself.
I know. That's not.
Comstock topside. I'm just saying.
Oh, wow. Look how loose Justina got right there.
Oh, chop the door off Henderson there on Kelly.
Things are getting a little heated, and guess who's in the midst of all this right about now?
Yeah, the leader's right there. So, yeah, these guys are racing hard right now. This is right at the outside skirts of the top 10.
Oh, my gosh.
Justina goes a lap down. Here comes Mike Kelly going to go a lap down. You just got to lick your wounds right now. Now, here's a question. This is kind of an old school move here, John. If you go a lap down, Joey Justina right now, for example, you got the 22 right there with him of Nelson Riviera. Do you pit now and go ahead and get those tires to try to jump the leader when you get back going on the same cycle?
I would,
Problem is
but
you're
I suck.
I suck.
Exactly. I'm just saying. I'm being honest, brother. I'm being honest.
All right, tell me how you really feel. Nothing wrong with that. I admit sometimes my falters also.
Now, you get me out on, say, Atlanta or Charlotte on the 1.5 miles or Kansas, places like that. I'm not too bad. I've had some great runs there in the last couple of weeks, but me and Bristol we don't see eye to eye on very many things. Like, I want to finish the race, and Bristol doesn't want me to.
Well, and that just comes down to a little bit of luck, I think, at the same time here. But we got a reciprocal battle here. Right in front of the leader, we got the 18 and 81. These two battling for position right now as you see Henderson's gone a lap down. So we're all the way up to 9th place now. About to go a lap down.
That's insane.
In 86 laps of all green flag racing here.
Remember back in the days when guys like Yarborough and Petty would lap the entire field at this place?
Multiple times. I mean, and not just here. It was everywhere. I mean, of course, you got the, was it the 66 500, I think it is, where Ned Jarrett won by 14 laps?
Something like that, yeah. That's crazy, man.
Nobody will ever do that again.
No.
All right, so we're 13 laps from halfway. We're going to step away, take a break, and come back and hopefully keep this thing green and get some green flag pit stops coming up here from the Virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. You're watching the Sim500 in the North Carolina 811 Cup Series on the Captain Esports Network.
The grassroots levels where we all got our start to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on NC811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back we are here at the Virtual Bristol Motor Speedway as we are 2 laps from the halfway points. Daniel Falkingham continuing to lead as we get ready for potentially green flag pit stops here at this half-mile track. You see Jimmy Coleman going another lap down. We are down to 7 cars on the lead lap. In trouble, Brian Macklin. Brian Macklin is spun over off the back straightaway. Not sure. I don't see. There's the caution.
Tracking at 3. Slow it down, guys.
Oh, this changes this race. And Brian Macklin, a playoff driver.
Was just out of control.
Stop. Pace car on the back.
For-
Macklin, what a shock that is. That's great.
Oh goodness, he came right back up in front of somebody there.
Yeah, I
Big
saw him
man,
get.
you all
right?
I saw him get sideways off of turn
No.
2. And I hate to say this,
had no steering
did
left.
we have trans-service on trans-service contact here?
Yeah,
It looks like we did, sir.
And Macklin's on fresh tires here, and he gets loose off of 2,
Gotta catch up,
overcorrects it, and hello to Glenn
Oh,
Campbell.
wow.
And
And then Campbell got Glazer.
Yep, Glazier got Campbell. And
Yeah, I
it
got
looks like
Macklin.
also Rivera involved in this wreck. Or Rivera, I've learned to say. So caution out for the first
Same
time
side,
right at the halfway point.
Go, Bobby.
And here come leaders to pit road. And we should mention 1 pit lane. So you enter at turn 2.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
You drive all the way around turn 3 and 4 and come into the turn 1 area of pit road as we watch Daniel bring his car all the way around here. So he had a pretty good lead on Daly here. So unless something dramatic happens here, there's no reason why he don't leave with the lead. You see Byron just getting to the pit road entrance.
Wow. And Macklin has left. He's gone and parked it.
Yeah, he tore up that car, unfortunately, pretty good there. So the 7-8 cars that are in the lead lap are pitted. Now, Rivera was going to be the lucky dog, but he was involved in that wreck, so let's see if it ends up going to Justin Mons maybe because of it when this thing is all said and done, as others come to pit road here, as we have our first caution on track right at lap 100. So this tire strategy came into play. A lot of people are going to get caught a lap down here, and those who were patient enough to save their tires, they're going to pay off here in the long run when this thing is all over with. So,
Man, I tell you what, Falkingham was putting down a crazy pace.
you know, when you get a car that's hooked up at a track like this, it's amazing what you can do with it.
Well, it's insane to me that this kid is so great and skilled on a fixed setup. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, in theory, most guys, the races would be a little bit closer sometimes. But this guy just gets out there sometimes, man, and it's like you said, he's on a rail. It's insane.
Tommy Ryan back on pit road here at lap 103.
Uh-oh.
And he's got him right now, P2 right now. Henderson's on pit road also. So I'm not sure. Yeah, Ryan was on pit road, so I wonder if something... You know what? Ryan took 2 tires, so I wonder if he's coming back to take the other 2 because he thought he might go a lap down with where he was with the pace car. I've seen that here. I've actually had it happen to me here. Let's see. A right side tire's going on. Or did he mistakenly only take less? No, he's putting 4 tires on, so not sure what happened there.
Let me see if I can find out for you.
Appreciate that.
Oh, interesting. Apparently, he took fuel only.
Oh, well, that makes sense then. So I wonder, as the green flag comes back out here at lap 105, I wonder if that was part of a strategy move or something like that. But either way, this is an opportunity for us. We're on a restart. We're at Bristol, and oh boy, speakers, turn them up. As we come back, you might have seen just a minute ago on the back straightaway the 38 car of Chad Coleman, who's had some pretty terrible luck in this first round of the playoffs, went sideways and actually caught the inside wall.
I'll stay high, brother.
On the back straightaway. And it looks like his car is okay, but almost a scary situation. I thought it was going to be caution number 2 when it was over with, but great save on Coleman's part. Let's see if we can... Right there, you see him, I don't know if he got tagged or... Get a better look at it right here. He was battling with Scott Simley. Here we go. It was down to turn 1 and 2. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Justin gets loose. Nothing there. Mike Kelly to his outside. Oh, he slid up into Mike, I think, right there.
And that'll do it, too.
Yep.
Not sure what happened to Ed Burrell, but his engine is expired.
He must have been involved in something. And now we got the battle back here for the lucky dog. You got Doug Roth, who started all the way back in 23rd. He is the first car a lap down there in that Petty 43 car. And then you got Justin Mons and Mike Kelly. All three of these cars are battling for the lucky dog position in case another yellow comes out. Daniel Falkingham out to a 1-second lead right now over Byron Daly. Of course, Scott Simley having a great run in 3rd. How about Jose Gonzalez? No pressure, but a major storm just went through your home country, and here you are 4 seconds back in 4th right now.
Holding on to a good top 5 run, which is what he needs. Cushion those points up, you know.
Seems there's a little bit of haze on the back straightaway.
No, there's haze back there. That was Burrell's engine still smoking. He's barbecuing something back there.
Oh, brisket? What we got?
I don't know. Maybe hot dogs. It's Bristol.
Don't let your wife hear that.
I'm hoping she's in bed by now.
And by the way, it's Martinsville with the hot dogs. But I'll go with the Bristol part.
I had a pretty good hot dog at Bristol one time. Oh, yeah. Of course, it wasn't in the track. It was outside the track in one of those little food trucks. But still,
All that.
it was there. I love that color red Mons has in that
Yeah,
car,
that's pretty
man.
cool. Great looking. Was that Gamer A or A Gamer or something? Unfortunately, I'm a novice, I guess, when it comes to some of these sponsor names. But
Yeah, right.
yeah, the field pretty spread out now after that caution here. 120 laps, 124 laps in the book. As you see Brian Wortman there going a lap down with these guys.
Oh, Falkham has caught Henderson. Let's see how hard Henderson fights to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, I saw a couple cars out in front of the field at that restart. One of them was Nelson Rivera. And Rivera obviously has gone a lap down, and now Leon Henderson is fighting for his Bristol life.
What do you do right here in this instance, Chris? I mean, you're definitely in the playoffs, so you want to try not to go a lap down here, but that's the leader behind you.
Well,
you know he's faster than you.
I don't go as hard as you might think, as Daniel's going to go slide job here, I think. He got past him, but here's the positive. Elliot Henderson's the first car lap down, and he's got a big enough lead. He's got 3.5 seconds over the next person for the lucky dog. So settle down here, save your tires a little bit, and just ride behind Daniel. Because if the caution comes, you're back on the lead lap again.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. Stay there and watch how he gets in the corner, watch how he gets off the corner. Maybe learn something while you're behind him, help your car maintain that good speed for a little while.
I keep going back to this battle here because this is right now a great fight for the top 10, 9th actual position right now with Mons and Kelly. And they did get by Doug Roth, so Roth has fallen back to the 11th position. So there's this battle, and then right back here, as these guys join into the wad of cars here, we got Comstock and Joey Jatina. Joey told me pre-race, he's like, man, I feel good about this car. And, of course, he's got that North Carolina 811 paint scheme. Want to give them a big shout-out again for being the sponsor of this North Carolina 811 Cup Series. We're in the playoffs here also. And always remember to call 811 before you dig. And never got a chance really actually to bring this up with what happened this evening as we were talking to the 8-car of Randy Oakham about the safety of with the storm that's coming and the importance of calling before you dig and that kind of thing. But we should give a shout out and congratulations to Tommy Ryan, who won the Know It's Below 811 Before You Dig Pole Award this evening. So congratulations to Tommy on getting that. Normally he does that at super speedways, but he got one at Bristol.
Yeah, it was a great lap too. I was watching qualify. You just, you know, sometimes, Chris, you see somebody do a lap here in qualifying, and you know it's going to be fast. You just know.
Yeah, you definitely hit your marks, and it's like you feel good about it. The ones that stink is when you feel like you hit your marks and it turns out to be nothing.
Oh, did I just see Jochen blink out there?
You might have, but something else you're seeing on the screen right now is a battle for second shaping up. Scott Simley in this 12 car is having a great race. He did finish top 3 last week. We got to talk to him a little bit after his great finish at Kansas, but here we are now as Byron Daly getting a little loose off turn 2.
This is about the same we saw the last run before that first caution with Scott. You know, he just bides his time, keeps good, consistent laps, and takes care of those tires. And you know, he did it that first run to gain a whole bunch of spots, and now looks like he's going to do it again this run. Maybe try and sneak into second here shortly.
I'm going to have to talk to Byron after this race just to learn a little bit of what his theory is. And I'm not questioning what he's doing or anything like that, but it's more just to literally learn. Like, is he actually using, because you hear him downshifting, is he downshifting to literally use the brakes in the car? And if so, obviously that makes a lot of sense. I've seen it done before, but why at Bristol, I guess, is my main question. So that's going to be an interesting learning question that I'll be able to go talk to him about, or maybe even somebody else who might know the answer. But Byron's doing a great job holding on to second.
Yes, he is. Now, I'm glad you brought up that shifting thing earlier. I was riding along before that caution came out with Falkingham and a few other guys, and the field split about half and half right now. Towards the end of that run, they were all staying in 4, some of them, and some of them were still shifting from 4th to 5th, and even still a few more were just staying in 5th gear, believe it or not.
And I'm all about 5th gear because, I mean, one, I mean, the revs are still going to be high. You're going to run 9,000 RPM, so you might as well be in the top gear. And obviously, the lower the gear, the more RPM you're going to run in that situation, which then carries the speed off the corners with the rear tires, get them lit up, maybe slide the fronts. And I feel with the slightly lower gear being 5th, you can preserve a little bit.
Yeah. I've never been a shifter, to be honest with you, because I tried it a few times at tracks where you normally would try it. Tracks like Pocono. Remember how we always do a lot of shifting at Pocono. And I just found that sometimes it loosened the car up too much to my liking. I'm not a loose car liker. I don't like a loose car. I don't like a real snug car either, you know, but I definitely don't want one where I'm constantly trying to chase the back end.
Well, and that's one of those things where, and obviously depending on if it's a fixed setup or an open setup, if it's an open setup race, what you do in that situation is you set up the car for 3rd gear, or 4th gear in the next gen. In this case, you don't want to run the car in you don't want to run the car in 5th gear because at that point then you're setting up the car for that gear and not downshifting.
Sorry, didn't mean to get so excited, but I believe that was Rivera bounced off the wall and hit Falkingham. I thought we were about to watch Luz get taken out.
That would not have been good for Falkingham, who's had some great runs here in the first round, making up for his unfortunate early exit in the FEG Xfinity Series. Oh, Parker, look out now. He got tight. So Parker going another lap down here.
I am absolutely amazed that they didn't wad those 3 cars up. It was Falkingham, Rivera, and Kevin DeBrown all had contact there as they came off of, I want to say it was turn 2? No, it was turn 4.
And now you see Ron Holyfield about to go a lap down. Ron right now in the 23rd position. He's actually multiple laps down.
Tell you what, he is setting a pace at Falkingham.
That's what he usually does. Daly is not really let him get away. It's down to 2.8 seconds. Right now he's been able to hold off Scott Simley, he's actually pulled away a little bit to about 0.7 of a second. And actually the first battle on track, let's go back to it here. Chad Coleman, Tommy Ryan. This is a battle for the 6th position here. And Mike Montesi right there behind him in the Kohler number 6.
That's a good looking paint scheme that Coleman's got too. Gunmetal gray. There's Rivera down there on the low side again. Nelson was running good for a while there, but he just had a slew of issues here on this second half of this run.
And obviously that kind of, I think, leads back to when he was a lap down, of course, trying to get the lap back and being involved in that last accident. Might not have the best handling car now because of that, but a lot of things happening in that sequence. But of course, next week, race number 4 of the playoffs kicks off next Monday night. So we'll be here with you on the Captain Esports Network from the Virtual Texas Motor Speedway. It will be a fun one, I believe, next week. 140 laps to kick off the month of October, and 2 races left before we hit the end of the first round of the playoffs. So Texas Motor Speedway, 140 laps next week. Should be a very fun one. Of course, I will say this. I do like the way Texas runs on iRacing. So I think that's going to produce a good race next week.
Yeah, same here. It's one of my favorite tracks. But speaking of Texas, did you see Kyle Larson's interview, his post-race interview?
I can't say I did, actually.
He had a really good idea, although I know he was being sarcastic.
Oh, yes, I know you're talking about. Were you talking about just completely redoing the track?
He said demolish it and rebuild it as a 3/4 mile Bristol type track. I think that'd be interesting to see. Because Bristol's a half mile, which we know, right?
Right.
But he was talking a 3/4 mile, the different banking, you know, the progressive banking. And yeah, I was like, hey, that's an interesting idea.
Why don't we just go to Iowa then?
Because Iowa's not a strict, you know, like Bristol is. It's a D-shaped oval.
Okay, I'll give you that. No,
Yeah.
no. Go back to the old Texas and just put progressive banking in it. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too, man. Or better yet, bring back Texas World Speedway. That thing was huge.
It was
Did
big.
you-
2 mile track.
2 mile.
I remember.
Yeah, it was huge.
Speaking of huge, how about this run? Jose Gonzalez with 40 laps to go, 4th position for him. He actually ran the most laps in practice. He about ran the full race distance in practice.
Well, that's the way to do it too.
So he obviously knows what to do in these long runs, and he is smashing through the field, need I say. And
He's tracking down Simley too. Yeah, he's tracking down Simley too.
So Simley must have burned off his tires here, you wonder. It's down to about 1.1 seconds between the two. 38 laps to go, only 1 caution, and that was right at the halfway point for a couple cars getting tangled up. And other than that, it has been fantastic racing. And Daniel Falkingham has just ran away with this thing. Something I think I've said once a month at least since I've broadcast.
At least. Try being on track with this guy at many events and just knowing when he shows up. Even when he shows up, Chris, with 5 minutes of practice left, you just know, well, I guess I ain't winning this one.
I mean, I've had that kind of moment with people before, so I know the feeling.
Yeah. I tell you, I'm looking at the times between Simley and Gonzalez, and Gonzalez has been consistently almost a 10th faster than Simley, but I don't know if he's got enough time with the traffic that he's got to deal with to track down Simley. I really don't.
And they go around Kevin DeBrown right here in the 93 car, and then Elliott Henderson before that. But look at this, all 10 drivers, or actually 9 of the 10. Byron Daly, once again, that one in the 10. That is not a playoff driver.
The spoiler, if you will. And he's lost some time to Falkingham.
He has lost about 4/10 or so in the last lap or so.
You know, it'd be really awesome of iRacing to do for us.
Give us the old
Give
Bristol.
us-
The old Bristol.
Give us access to the Bristol Victory Lane.
I think it'd be kind of cool if they found a way to look at this. Wetzel's shutting the door on Daniel, and he's giving the
Whoa!
bumper. What is this about? Wetzel's 2 laps down in 13th.
How patient do you think Falkingham's going to be with him?
Well, he already gave him the bumper. Now, they could be joking with each other, but I don't know if...
Whoa! Wow, he is not cutting him
What
any
is
slack
going
at
on?
all.
There's something here. He's right on his door and everything here. And Daly's knocked it down to 2.5. Okay, next question. Is there something with Daly and Wetzel?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly, now I know that Bobby and Daniel have had their run-ins on track a few times over the last few years, but I'm not aware of any animosity between the two, but he is not cutting him any slack at all.
I mean, I've never seen a race at Bristol where the 9 car has held up somebody.
Kind of like a little deja vu with the Elliott Harvick thing. Remember that?
Right, that's kind of where I was going with the 9 thing. But this is, you know what this is? This looks quite familiar to me. See last night race at Bristol, 500 lapper. Difference is they're all in the same amount of tires, but it's not only Wetzel now that's becoming a problem. Look in front of them here. You got the conveyor belt that's starting to form up in front here, so Daniel's gonna have a lot of people, and now it's under 2 seconds.
Oh my.
If you're Daniel, you're probably having a fit right now.
Well, I can tell you, he's not saying a whole
loose
wow,
there.
we got loose. Wow. He's not saying a whole lot in chat, though.
Oh, go down to Discord. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, no doubt, right? Are they in the same Discord channel?
Good question.
No, they're not. No, they're not. He's on team name. Wetzel's up there in Sim500 Mafia.
Oh, he got the top side here.
Yeah, he's going to get by this time. Or is he?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, he's going to get him. He's got him right there.
I'm not so sure yet here. There you got him. Okay. What in the world?
Hey, we got to talk to Wetzel after that, man. We got to pull him up after the race.
I mean, me and some friends do have a hashtag we have to say, Lap Cars Matter. I don't know if that played a role in that.
Maybe it's because Daniel doesn't have his banner on and Bobby's just, hey, man, put your banner. Come on.
We'll have to figure out the legits behind that. But Daly now 1.7
0.
seconds. The question here now I want to watch is when Daly catches Bobby, does he just let him go?
That would be interesting to see. If he catches him, we're at lap 180 right now on the board. Not a lot of time left, really.
No, not at all. 21 laps, and there's Daly. And the lead's actually down to 1.3 now, but Daniel did pass Jatina just there to put him another lap down. So, and here's Daly coming up. He's going to pass Randy Yoakum for position. And here he comes up on the back of the 9. So let's see. Wetzel goes to the bottom.
No fight at all.
He let him go.
Yeah.
Let him go. Wow.
Very, very interesting. Yes. I vote we pull them both up at the same time.
Well, how much I
Just
like that
saying.
idea.
Just saying.
The producer in me is like, no, we can't do that.
Damn dude from Louisiana. We gotta get him off the microphone.
Jimmy Spencer Jr. over here.
Hey, man.
17 laps to go. The race hadn't even taken an hour. We're almost done. We're just
Wow.
flying through this thing.
And that, but you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. Please understand, folks, I am not a fanboy for the Sim500 people. I'm just speaking truth. That's impressive. When you get, how many guys we got on track right now, or had on track?
32 start. Well, 31 technically started.
Yeah, 31 cars on track, and it went with 1 caution so far. Knock on wood. That speaks a lot to the skill of these drivers, if you ask me.
No, I agree.
I mean, you and I have both have seen fixed setup racing in the A car, at Bristol with what 80 laps, and it took 12 cautions to get the race finished. I mean, come on.
I always bring this up to friends of mine and stuff. There's a series I used to run back in the day, one that my dad and I found, and unfortunately doesn't run anymore. But we actually had a truck race that had 19 people in it, and as a matter of fact, Brian Workman might have been in that race. And we had 175 laps go caution free, and we did 45 minutes.
I've never been a part of a caution-free race at Bristol.
It's nice you say that, because here's the segue. The first ever race at Bristol Motor Speedway was a caution-free cup race.
Oh! Was Falkingham loose right there?
He got a little free there trying to pass Montesi.
So I was looking at Montesi just a little bit more than I was at Falkingham's car.
The thing is, we need to look behind Mr. Falkingham.
Oh, hello.
There's Byron Daly, less than a second from him. But yes, the first ever Bristol race back in 1960 was a caution-free race.
How many cars, I wonder, were in that thing?
I'm sure there was a lot.
I don't think Byron's got enough time, man. As much as I would love to see a car that I painted in victory lane again.
Well, it depends on if he can split these two here. Doug Sigmund there, jumping out of the way. Nice job on the 04 part, and he's got to get around Montesi here. And then it depends on when Daniel when he catches. Like right now, he's stuck behind Jimmy Coleman. He's stuck behind Coleman's.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Non-related, by the way, asked Mike Kelly. This is exactly what Falkingham did not need.
Not at all. But look at the fight that Daly had on his hands trying to get around the 2-car there.
And then not to mention, there's a battle for third now as Gonzalez caught Simley. So we've got fights everywhere now.
6 laps to go as we come by this time here, Chris. And I don't know. I mean, Byron made up a lot of ground right there, but he's gotten past those 2 lap cars, the Coleman and the Coleman.
Law firm.
I wanted to say that. I really did.
So Gonzalez has got by Simley for the 3rd position. Great run for him. How about Tyler Dalton has slowly ran his way up into 5th and stayed on the lead lap in this race?
Yeah, Tyler needed a good finish this week.
Falkingham going by Charles Woods, put him another lap down. Daly's right there with him, and then a couple more pack of cars up here with Mike Kelly, and this Mons is in this battle. 4 laps to go.
Oh, wow.
Easy.
Oh, really, Daniel?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh my God.
I don't
Wow.
blame him. I'm like, he's got to do that sometime. You gotta do what you gotta do to win this race. Byron's there.
Oh!
How bad do you want it?
I am completely speechless right now.
He is without
I'm just watching this screen, man.
White flag, final lap, half a mile to go for Daniel Falkingham, who's looking to pick up his 2nd win of the playoffs, and more importantly, going to be his 9th win of the 2022 season as the race at Bristol goes to Daniel Falkingham.
Oh, Daly almost looped to come off the 4.
Byron Daly gets 2nd. Jose Gonzalez going to finish likely 3rd as he crosses the line. 1 caution. Fantastic stuff. This will be a fun race to watch over on our good friends there with Roku and the Sim Racing channel, as they've been broadcasting the last couple of weeks. You'll get to see this broadcast later on this week on their channel, as Parker goes up and says howdy do to him. But yeah, make sure you check out that race on the Sim Racing channel later on this week. If you haven't had a chance to, you can watch it online, or if you have Roku on your TV, you can download it right there to your TV.
Yeah, I was watching it on my big old 4K TV last week. Well, let me rephrase that. Hold on, let me back up. At first, I was trying to watch it in the ER room, and they kept turning the TV off when the doctors came in. I got angry. So
Stop that! Stop that now!
I couldn't understand. I'm like, they're like, well, you know, you're trying to die over here, John. Yeah, but I'm also trying to watch the race. Can't we do it at the same time?
In correction, I'm not trying. Good donuts.
He's, I'll tell you what, I think if we had about, I don't know, 10 more laps in that race, I think Daly would have caught him.
It would have been very, very close. But, Daniel did a great job, led pretty much all the race. I can't think of any time anybody do any strategy. I think Daniel might have went flag to flag here. So, either way, congratulations to him on getting that win. Let's take a look at the final results in this 200-lap race at Bristol. As Daniel Falkingham gets himself another victory. And pulls into his pit stall there. He wins it by 0.6 of a second over Byron Daly. Jose Gonzalez, a great run, comes back third. Scott Simley fourth. And Tyler Dalton, your top five. Tommy Ryan finishes sixth. Chad Coleman. Elliot Henderson finishes eighth with David Comstock and Justin Mons, your top 10. Mike Kelly, Bobby Wetzel, 11th and 12th. Joey Jatina in 13th. Doug Roth, Jimmy Coleman. Josh Parker there in the 16th position. 17th going to Montesi. Jose Medina, 18th. 19th going to Charles Woods. And Kevin DeBrown finishing in 20th. And I'll let you go ahead and get the rest of the field there, bud.
Well, you're going to have to because I just lost visual.
It happens. Randy Oakham finishing 21st. Ron Holyfield 22nd. Doug Sigmund 23rd. Nelson Rivera 24th. Brian Wortman 25th. Bentley Glazier 26th. Richard Beasley. Glenn Campbell 28th position for him. 29th goes to Brian Macklin. Ed Burrell 30th. Andrew Teft and Eric Arnold with an A, by the way, for some reason still. Finishing in the 32nd position. So fantastic race here. Let's do some post-race interviews, and let's start with our third-place finisher tonight, and that is a man that's probably pretty relieved right now after going through a pretty serious situation last week with the hurricane going through his home country there, Puerto Rico. First off, Jose, thoughts and prayers to everybody in your home country there, as we're all family, and we hope for the best there, and as one that's been through numerous hurricanes myself, I know the feeling of sitting there with no power and it being hot as all get out. But congratulations on your third, man. It's good to see you back on track and having this kind of run. That awkward moment where you wonder if you even heard anything you just said. We'll come back to Jose. How's that? Let's talk to Byron Daly, shall we? We'll come back to Jose. He might be getting a drink because let's be real too. 200 laps with one caution, your arms are going to be hurting a little bit. So I totally understand that. But
Byron's up here with us.
Byron's with us. That's why I can't get him in the Monday room. I'm like, why can't I get him up here? All right, Byron, let's talk here, man. Second place finish for you. It looked like it was getting closer and closer and closer. Maybe you had a chance to get to Daniel there when the race was over. What did you need?
Honestly, time, maybe some talent. I saved too much. I was, I decided I was going to play 1 or 2 games. I was either going to go aggressive or just hang out for a while and see if it worked out in the end. And I always hate playing the freaking saving game in second. You just never know what's going to be enough, and I screwed it up. So he did a good job, got through the traffic like he needed to, and it's just one of those things that fell a little short.
What talk about the race out there, because you guys, especially at the end, I mean, you were having to split cars 3 wide and that kind of thing, but to have a green flag run, pretty much 2 green flag runs of right around 100 laps, basically to run this race. I mean, obviously a lot of lap traffic came into play. How was that factored, and of course there at the end as you were trying to catch them?
Yeah, in the first part, the lap traffic was actually a hindrance to me because I had no right front tire left. So trying to pass anybody on the bottom was impossible. It's like the same stuff you always fight at this track. Like, right. I used to think I didn't like any racetrack. I actually hate this place. It's just, at least on here, it's just so annoying to race. But it was the second run, I was actually hoping for a massive blob of lap traffic like we had the first race because I had done a better job of keeping the right front on it, and now it was just how much time do I have left to get back to, Daniel? And unfortunately, we kind of didn't get it. A lot of those guys were already like 85 laps down, so they kind of rolled over, and it just kind of didn't help me at all because you get to as a second place car, and it's not really, sometimes you just don't get the same thing. So. It's just one of those things, man. Like it was a good race. He did a good job. Daniel did a really good job there to really clean up this race, kind of make it, hopefully not too boring for you guys. He was pretty dominant, and hopefully I'll try to bring more competition next week.
No, I think you did your part, man. Congratulations on the second place finish, and obviously continued momentum. You've been arguably I don't think anybody even comes close to you, the best non-playoff driver, though. I mean, the only thing that kept you out was real life stuff. So you've shown that you've had the talent to obviously be a playoff driver in this series. So I know that's got to be kind of a bittersweet pill, but it's got to feel good though to know that you've been a top 2 car all 3 races.
Yeah, honestly, it should have been it. I ran the winter heat Legends car stuff, so
Right.
we practice on Mondays nights, so I couldn't make the races, which kind of sucks. But rules are rules, and I'm just out here trying to win races now. And we'll be going just as hard trying to win Talladega, so let's do it.
Well, great job tonight, man. Send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Oh yeah, Raging Cajun, 1-800 call before you dig, Sim500. You all broadcasting. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll keep on going. We'll close the season out.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight, Byron, and congratulations on the second place finish. And we will see you next week in Texas.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Byron Daly. You heard that little breath of relief there. He's like, all right, we're done. All right, we're done.
You want to try Jose again? You want me to bring Daniel up?
Yeah, let's see if we can get Jose up here with us. And let's get Jose. Jose, you got a copy, bud? All right, we'll try to get Jose a third time here in a second, but let's get Daniel and bring up the winner of this race here. 9th win tonight here at Bristol. Dominant effort. I'm going to ask the first awkward question in this interview that I think has to get out there. Is there something that we don't know going on between you and the 9?
Sorry, can you repeat that, Chris? My friggin' stupid headset's breaking up on me. I don't know what you just said there.
I said, is there something there with you and the 9? Because you're winning a race, pulling away, and all of a sudden you had a fight on your hands.
No, there was no problem. It's just he's just trying his hardest to stay on the lead lap. I mean, I get it. I respect all the lap cars. They're trying to stay on the lead lap and whatnot. But, I mean, what Byron was doing was just stupid, in my opinion. I mean, just pinching me all the way to the apron, trying to drive it hard in the corner, then parking center. I mean, I got into him, and I almost wrecked him one of the times. And I really wasn't trying to. But, yeah, I don't know. I get it. He's trying to stay on the lead lap, but the way he was doing it was pretty stupid, in my opinion. But, yeah, just trying to run me so low, trying to give me like no exit speed, but it was kind of screwing him up too. So I mean, if he would have just ran the normal Bristol high line, he probably could have held me off a little bit better. So, but I was definitely getting fed up with it. I mean, the first run I didn't mind it because it's early in the race, so he tried his best. But that second run I was getting annoyed because I was in a race for the win, and Byron was running me down. So lost most of my lead.
Yeah, I was gonna say we caught that and we're like, is there something we don't know going on here? But either way, man, so you get the victory. Obviously, a great battle there. Had to make a couple of moves there at the end of the race to get the win. But more importantly here, I think he went flag to flag and won this thing and led all the laps.
Yeah.
I think his headset just crashed.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back.
That's okay.
But yeah, we got the Tommy picked the top from the start. We missed the pole by 1,000. Me, Tommy, and McElroy were all separated by like 1,000, so that's pretty incredible. But
Bristol-like.
Yeah, full center into turn 1, see if I can clear Tommy, and we cleared him, then we just controlled it from there. I just wish we could have gotten the pole and do the Grand Slam and whatnot, but hey, it's alright. Led all the laps, got the maximum points, and looking good for the final 2 rounds, so we can have enough points to not worry about Dega going to the last round, which hopefully we should be able to lock ourselves in by get the Dega.
Yeah, and of course now you go to Texas next week, a track that is that 1.5 miles, which has, I mean, kind of hindered you a little bit. I don't want to use the word hindered because I don't see anything hindering you, but it has been a little bit of a pain in the side, if you will, to you a little bit. And here's another 1.5 mile track that you got to try to stretch out that points with in this car. How do you feel about that?
Looking forward to Texas. I mean, the mile and a half have been good to me this year. It's just a lot of races I just cannot seem to finish. Like Kansas last week, we were battling for the win, and then just my right rear decided to die, and then I got wrecked coming to the finish. So, yeah, the mile and a half have been good. I mean, we've got a few wins on a few of them this year, but Texas, I do tend to like hate it in real life, but it's kind of fun, and it's kind of fun in the game. So. We'll give it our all, try to build our points gap, and we can have enough points to go have some fun at Dega before we get to the final round. So just try and build up those points.
Well, great job tonight, man. Way to dominate the race, and you definitely put the show on there throughout the evening here at this Bristol Motor Speedway as your 9th win of the season, and your chance to send shouts whoever you like to.
Yeah, gonna try to get as many as I can without my headset breaking up, but I want to thank January 31st, First Rate Bait Laps 207 for all their support. I gotta thank Joey on the show. I gotta thank NC811 for all they did for the series. Everyone great. My team at team name, Coleman, Comstock, Byron, Beasley, Parker, Kevin, and the whole crew over there. Thanks to my team at North Force Racing, Preston Gilson, the whole crew over there, and all my teammates. Parker White, Daniel Buttafuoco, Tyler Gary, Wyatt Tinsley, Colton Salick. We have a huge race coming up. Trying to make it into Contender. It's the last race of Road to Pro before the Contender Series gets up in November. So, and we're right on the cut line, and we're right outside of it. So we're trying to get ourselves in, and hopefully we have a solid race Thursday. We can lock ourselves in to Contender, which is the ultimate goal. So, appreciate North Force let me come over there and do this. And hopefully we can have a good run Thursday. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast. Thanks to everyone who watches each every week. Cosman and Slash Go Graphics for the paint scheme. And friends and family for watching. And I'm about to put my headset into the ground.
Please don't. Just save it. Don't. You might be fixable.
Yeah, I'll probably got to invest in a new one. I don't know why it keeps doing this to me. It's wireless. I don't know if there's some problem with it, but definitely not going to put up with this much longer, that's for sure, because I just can't keep breaking up like this. Kind of ruined my interview there, but hey, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, well, you got the win, man. You've done your part tonight. So congratulations. Go celebrate, and we'll talk next week.
Thanks, Chris. You have a good one.
You too, buddy. Daniel Falkingham, the winner tonight, 9th win of the season, and a win at Bristol tonight. And the only thing that's been a pain in the side, besides one lap car specifically, is his headset. So never a good thing.
You want to try and get Bobby up here now?
Let's you know what? Let's bring Bobby up here. Let's have a little fun. I'm gonna have you interview Bobby. How's that?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Hey, Bobby, John up in the booth. You got me, bud?
Got a copy.
My man, how you doing tonight? It looked like you had an adventure out there on track tonight, bud.
Doing pretty good. Just was racing my race, just trying to stay on the lead lap, or just one lap down. But Daniel's so damn good that he just can't.
So that's kind of why we want to talk to you real quick. Okay, here's what we saw. We saw the 9 car doing the 9 car thing out there, tooting around that track, doing pretty good, holding his own. Then we saw the 39 car approach the 9 car and try to get by, and the 9 car said, no, sir, denied. And when we talked to the driver of that 39 car, he wasn't real happy. What was your side of that?
Daniel wins enough.
That's pretty simple.
Yes. Yeah. 3 words summed it right up, man. Well, look, Bobby, all joking and in all seriousness here, man, great run tonight. What was it like out there? I mean, you guys are setting a hell of a pace. Really, one caution at Bristol. Who'd have thunk it? But, man, it was a great race. So give us your thoughts on that race, man.
It was a pretty good race. We kind of messed up at the start of the run. We got behind the 8 ball because we were running up high with everyone else in the back, not realizing that the leaders were running the low line and you were going to save tires over the time. So, yeah, when Daniel started catching up to all of us, we kind of went, oh, we have made a horrible mistake. And so that's why originally I kind of went down and started blocking him right before that caution, because I was like, oh, if a caution comes out, I need this. Oh, please. It just didn't come out in my favor. And then when the second time he went to go around me, I was kind of just, thinking to myself, you've already passed me once. No.
Denied. Oh man. Well, look. Hey, you kept it entertaining. I'll say that much. Chris didn't know what to do. He's like, should I go to another car? Should I stay here? What should I do here?
I gave Byron a chance. Yeah, that's the only thing I guess you could say.
Oh, did you ever? He cut that lead down from, I think, what was it, Chris? Almost 3 seconds when that started.
Yeah, it went down. It was almost a second, if not under a second. I'm just like, oh boy.
It's one of those moments where you just are like, you know what? I wish to defy God at the moment, and I'm gonna.
Bolts, baby. Chris, you got anything for Bobby, man?
He said enough. I got nothing. Man, it's great racing out there, Bobby. Obviously, great effort. I know you finished in the 12th position tonight, but yeah, like you said, you made a little entertainment there. I mean, hey, it's racing. It's what it's all about. So great job tonight, man. We look forward to keep watching you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Absolutely, you too. Bobby Wetzel finishing in the 12th position, and obviously part of the storyline. Not that he probably meant to do that, but part of the storyline in this race almost in the end there with the hard racing of Daniel Falkingham. Let's see if...
Is that you there?
Speedy? Did we get him?
Yeah.
There he is. Hey, Speedy, man. Welcome. First things first. I know we started to talk about it a little bit, man. Thoughts and prayers with you and everyone down there in Puerto Rico right now. As somebody who's been through my fair share of hurricanes, I know... especially afterwards, the rebuilding part, not to mention it's Africa hot, it feels like there, usually because of humidity and stuff. Obviously just wanted to send our best to you guys there, but man, what a comeback for you to come back into this race tonight, get your power back, and rock and roll to a third place finish.
Yeah, I was very disappointed I couldn't make it on Monday. It's a long season, and you work hard to make it to every race, and something happens you can't control, right? And I was disappointed also because it was Kansas, and I love to race in Kansas, and I've been doing well lately, and but I appreciate Sim500. They gave me last place points for that for last Monday's race, so I appreciate them. And so I'm not out, especially with tonight's performance, and we're happy, and we're helping feed the people here in Puerto Rico. I'm fortunate to work with World Central Kitchen. It's an organization that feeds everybody in the world. Chef Jose Andres and World Central Kitchen. So I've been busy also, but I was able to make it tonight. I did everything possible. I fixed my power supply, so I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really thankful for you guys to always be here and showing the races online and everybody.
This is.
I was saying. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was thinking out loud here, and I've made mention, John. You've made mention. We've been through our fair share of storms. And Jose, obviously, where you are in the on the map, obviously you guys get your fair share of storms too. And unfortunately for you guys there in Puerto Rico, a lot of the storms you guys get are the severe ones. Usually Cat 3s or 4s. I mean, every once in a while a little Cat 1 will go through there or whatever. But for those who don't have the chance to be a part of something like this, if they live in the Midwest, or if they live up north or something, so they don't get these kind of storms. In your vision, talk a little bit about what it's like to go through something like this.
Well, it's every hurricane is very different one from the other.
That's very true.
And it depends on where it hits, how long it stays, how much it rains, or how fast the wind is. And structurally, we're pretty prepared here in Puerto Rico. Like, all the houses are built in cement. We don't have wooden houses, or
right.
But Maria was pretty incredible. I've been through, I don't know, 10 hurricanes or more.
Wow.
I've been in every hurricane that's passed, since 1972, when I was born. And I remember Hugo was really big, but Maria was something different. It was like the howling of the wind was deep, and it didn't stop for like a whole day, like all night, all day, and it wouldn't move. It was just on top of us, just destroying. It's like imagine like a tornado, but it just stays there. So it's pretty incredible. It was pretty incredible, and when I went out and saw the devastation of the whole island, it was incredible. I mean, the mountains were like they looked like you lit a fire on top of them because the wind just burned all the plants, and it was pretty incredible.
John, you said you had a question?
Actually, you hit it right on the head. I just wanted to get his perspective on that. Like you said, as you and I, me living down here in South Louisiana, Jose, I can't even count how many of those things I've been through. And like you, sometimes the power is just, it's humbling to know, that there's so much power in nature. But I'm just glad to hear that you're okay, man. You were one of the first people that went through my mind, that and some friends of mine that I served the military with that are living down there in Puerto Rico now. So I'm glad to hear that you're okay, bud.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'll add to what John says. And not only that, for you to be doing what you're doing for that kitchen down there, to cook food and stuff and help some of these people that unfortunately did not have a house that maybe survived or has their own situation. I mean, I sat here on social media last week and watched a bridge that was rebuilt after one of the storms literally get carried out like it was a rock concert or something, and the singer was crowd surfing. It was like the water went underneath and just picked it up and just took it with it. And it's just like, man, it's just so crazy.
It looked like a toy.
Yeah, exactly. So
exactly,
and it's like thousands of pounds of steel, just just ripped out like a toy.
Absolutely. So they're scary, and I look over here at Mons. It put a hurricane party Thursday. A hurricane party is okay until you lose power. Let's put it like that. But when you lose power, it gets scary real quick. No, man, great job tonight. Throw some shout outs to whoever you like to, Jose.
I'm gonna do a shout out to everybody in Sim500 for being nice enough to to give me last place points. And that includes drivers that are right there with me in points, and now I'm a little ahead of them just because, and they are the ones that said, listen, give Jose last place points. That's the least we can do. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely, Jose. And I'll throw out there to you real quickly, if there's anything that I can do. Obviously, John's with me on Monday nights, but anything even throughout the week with the other leagues and stuff I broadcast for. Excuse me. If there's anything I can do to help out, let me know. And I'll be glad to. So stay in touch. Just reach out on Discord or whatever, and we can go and figure things out. So we're definitely thinking about everybody down there, and we appreciate your time, man. A great job tonight finishing third.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
Real quick, I was saying, speaking of points, buddy, you, Joey, and Bobby are all tied for 11th place right now.
Look
2
at that,
points. 2 points out of 10th behind Tyler Dalton.
Ooh. So I'm not out, huh?
No.
Not at all, brother. No.
All right.
all you got to do is bump draft Dalton out of the way at Talladega. I'm just saying.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Hey, man, God bless you, Jose, for all you're doing down there, and we'll be keeping an eye on you guys, man.
All right, take care, guys.
You too, buddy. Jose Gonzalez finishing in the third position, man. That was cool. Cool to see, and being right there, 11th in points still, and going from there. So, all right, so we're gonna wrap up here and get off. But before we go, I know we've kind of, I don't want to use the word pounded or whatever, but we've talked a lot about a hurricane and stuff that's coming, because this is the North Carolina 811 Cup Series, and basically as part of that, call before you dig. It's going to get to a point where, especially you overheard Randy talk about storm surge. For those who don't know, storm surge is the #1 killer in a hurricane.
Yep.
And it's because the water, it rages and it rises. Think about, look outside if you're not in in any kind of coastal land, look outside and think about like the nearest lake to you. Like for me would be Lake Lanier here in Georgia, but obviously I've been there in hurricanes, so I know exactly. Think about the water as this storm gets near is just going to rise, and they're going to talk about maybe 9-foot storm surge. So basically what that means is the water is going to rise 9 feet higher than what it sits at right now. Tampa Bay's at sea level. Where John is, near New Orleans, is below sea level. So that's scary to think about.
And to add to that, Chris, I mean, it's not just the amount of up it's going to go, but that up also goes inland.
Yes.
So, I can't remember the exact, somebody did the math a while back. Of course, it depends on where you live exactly, but in New Orleans, every foot up is almost 1.5 miles further inland.
There you go. So basically be careful. If you're in the Florida area, even up in the Panhandle, even up here in Georgia, believe it or not, looks like tropical storm type of weather maybe up here where I'm at. Come later on into the weekend and the next week, it looks like Talladega might actually be affected by the storm here. So we might be looking at an interesting weekend schedule for racing there at Talladega this week. I remember a storm hit Dover a few years back. And matter of fact, I think it was Sandy, if I remember correctly. It might have been the Superstorm. And they actually had to, they canceled Friday and Saturday and just went straight in there and ran it like COVID, basically. Went in there, set the lineup by points, started the race on Sunday and went green. So don't be surprised to see something like that. So basically when it's all over with, power lines and things like that, call before you dig. If you see power lines on the ground, get away from them. You don't know if they're live or not. You can't assume because a major storm has went through there and knocked all the power out that a line is not live. So always make sure you talk to pay attention to what the people say on TV and that kind of thing. And of course, if you have to dig, call 811 before you do. In no matter what state you are before you do that. So, all right, we're gone before we we keep on rambling here. So appreciate everybody's time. Everybody be safe. And, obviously we'll see you next Monday night from the Virtual Texas Motor Speedway. John, appreciate you being a part of the broadcast as always. Feel better yourself, and we'll see everybody next week. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!